University of Illinois alum, and he practiced for 34 years in Cook County Hospital, and as well as he maintained his own pediatric practice in Hyde Park. And for 25 years, he has had an interest in global health and has participated in humanitarian work around the world, from Mexico to Haiti to Tanzania. That's a lot of hopping around the world for an unbelievable cause. In 2016, he dedicated his time to the Syrian diaspora in Jordan, Lebanon, and Greece. And after returning from Syria, Dr. Kahler retired from clinical work to dedicate his time to building a humanitarian organization concerned with the needs of the displaced and the desperate. In 2017, he collaborated with Dr. Sahlul Anu Shivaranju to establish an INGO, MedGlobal, which we just heard about. Their first deployment was in Bangladesh at the beginning of the Rohingya exodus in 2017. And since then, MedGlobal has served in 20+ countries. MedGlobal has been in Gaza since 2019, like we heard. With the onset of this crisis, the Palestinian ground team manned Shifa Hospital until forced to evacuate to Rafah. So Dr. Kahler has been in Gaza four times since January, and he participated in opening the primary health center in Rafah and the first of 4 nutrition stabilization centers in Gaza. Dr. Kahler, the floor is yours.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. I want to thank you, first of all, for having me attend this evening. I won't speak long so that I know there's a ton of questions. I always get touched by this, so before we answer the questions about Gaza, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Unlike my young brothers here, Qader and Hamza that just spoke, I'm not a young man. Never be understood, honestly. I have 6 children and 12 grandchildren. I am blessed to be able to have spent my time for the past 35 years doing intermittent humanitarian work, and that brings me to now, because for a long time I would go a couple of weeks. I was a salaried physician my whole life, so my time off was my time off. I didn't lose my other colleagues that have much more difficult taking a week away. I didn't have to do that. My time was my time. I would give it back to my partners. But I would go, and I would go for a couple of weeks, and go here, go there, go somewhere else, and come back and pat myself on the back at what a good man I was. Way too involved with myself. Actually, one of my nurses that was with me forever, after a while, would say when I come back, please, please, not one more road to Damascus story. I hear it all the same, you're going to be the same jerky word 2 weeks. Anyway, so no more epiphanes. And then came Haiti, 2010 with the earthquake. I was able to be there within the first couple of weeks and saw devastation like I'd never seen before. And I'd spent a lot of time in Haiti before that, and I came back at 6 weeks, and I came back at 6 months, and at 6 months, if I would have written my name on a brick, I could have picked it up. That's how little was being done, and it was summer now. So it's hot as it blazes. I'm under a tent with maybe 150 people that were there to see us, and I'm outraged at how little things had happened. I have this righteous indignation. I'm just burning up with righteousness. I'm mad at the president of Haiti. I'm mad at the president of the United States. I'm mad at God. I'm mad at everybody. And I'm standing there, and suddenly I look at there's a woman sitting in front of me, and she's got 2 kids. She probably had walked 3 hours to see me, had waited another 2 hours, and had a look in her eye that said, you might be able to concentrate on me, you think? And it dawned on me at that moment in time, the president of Haiti wouldn't know me from Adam, and the president of the United States couldn't care less, and God would say, you're mad at who? And I sat down and realized that I could give to this woman in front of me something she needed. And all that righteousness melted away. It melted away, and I was able to concentrate on what I was doing and who I was doing it and why I was doing it. And that lasted until the siege of Aleppo. And when I was in Aleppo with my colleague Abdul, and the bombs were falling in, and we were woke up early in the morning and said, we got to get out of here because the siege is about to close off and you can't do that. We won't be able to get out. And we left. That anger started to creep back. Working with the Syrians in Greece and Camp Moria, I thought that was the worst place I had ever been. Camp Moria on Lesbos Island, where it was built to fit 3,000 people. It had 25,000 people there when I was there. Thought it was the worst place I'd ever been until I entered Gaza in January. The second you step in, you see nothing but destruction. There's no lights. It was night when we were going in, so it was so realistic. And all you saw was the lights of small fires or what do you call it, the flashlight on the back of people's phones, and people doing what refugees have done always. They walk and they stand, and they walk and they stand, and they walk and they stand. There was nothing but dirt. It was the spookiest situation I had ever seen. 100%. I'll put this in a little bit of perspective for you. And then I'm going to answer a question that was asked to me today by a reporter, and then I'll stop because I know there's a lot of questions. Let me give you a little perspective. In Gaza, entire Gaza, as Qader mentioned, is about 27 miles long, maybe 7 miles wide, right? So a marathon runner could do it in one day. Wouldn't be a problem. Wouldn't be a problem at all. Rafah governorate, it's about 25 to 30 square miles. You could put Rafah city inside Istanbul airport. In October, it had approximately 150,000 people, maybe 5,000 to 7,000 people per square mile. When I was there in March, 1.4 million people in 4 months. 1.4 million people, or about 56,000 people per square mile. Who are these people? They're you. They're you. Think about it. You're sitting here right now. Think about somebody came in and handed you a piece of paper and said, go home, pack up, be gone in 4 hours. And oh, by the way, you're going to walk 10 miles. Oh, and on top of that, there's going to be bombs falling outside this place that they call the deconflicted area. Think about it. It probably took me longer to get ready to come from Chicago to here than it would for that. This is you. That's there. And not once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. This is how many times you have to pack up in there. When I was in Mawasi, which is not bombed, by the way, this was a safe area. When I was in Mawasi, Khan Yunis was being moved. And there was a line, probably 5 kilometers long, on the road, one after, you probably saw, one after the other, after the other, after the other, cars packed 12 feet high, with every piece of thing that these families had. All these old jalopies, they were pulled by donkey carts. We took a picture, and I guarantee you that anybody in this room was, nobody, I can't see anybody in this room would even be close to old enough. If you looked at these pictures, and when we decolorized them, it was Nakba 1947. Not a question. I guarantee you, if I didn't tell you, you couldn't tell me. It was the spooky, it was the saddest thing of my whole life, because I'm standing there, and I'm coming back from someplace, and I'm walking back to the house, and we're in, Milwaukee is along the water, and so there's sand. And I came upon a family of maybe 6 or 7, and they were, now remember, there's no, as Hamza said, there's nothing there. No garbage is picked up, no sewage, no. Which means the solid waste just piles up. And there was a little garbage area, probably the area, this little area right here. And in it was a family stop there, looking in there, and people said, well, they were probably looking where to throw something. I said, no, they weren't looking where to throw something. They were looking where to pitch a tent. And for some reason, that particular scene, and who knows why these individual things get you. As Hamza alluded to, you can't prepare for it. You can't, it's not an intellectual event. Life is lived sensually, so you have to smell it, you have to see it, you have to hear it, you have to feel it. That's how this is lived. And this was a garbage dump they were trying to pitch a tent on. And we're happy to have it. So people say, well, how do you stay hopeful? I said, well, that assumes I am hopeful, and I'm not. And then I said to myself, well, what in God's good name would make me say, I'm not hopeful? My ass is coming back home. Excuse my language, of course. Coming back home, these folks can't go anywhere. People said, what's the difference between this and every place else you've seen? I said, I'll give you 3 things. The first is scope. I've never been in a place that there's this much destruction per population as this. Aleppo was nothing like this. Haiti was terrible, but you go to one block, it looks fine. Another block, there's nothing. This is this total destruction, 100% of the population. Remember, Hiroshima didn't kill 100% of the population. That's what it did. 100% of the population is affected. So scope. Second thing is, every place else I've ever been in life, people have been trying to help. Right? I mean, people want to come in, the money rolls in, this is happening. Nobody can get things in to help. Hamza told me they brought 70 bags in. We bring 30 in. That's gone in a week. You know, no one is there helping. But to combine the flip side of that coin, you can't get out. There's no Palestinian refugee crisis. Plenty of Syrians, you know, people can escape. There's no Palestinian refugee crisis. Because you can't get out the door. You can't get out. So you're pushed literally against the wall. You can see, I can throw a rock from one of our clinics and hit the food on the other side of the wall. You can see it. It's not a famine. I mean, it's not a drought. You can see the food. It's there. You can't get out. Nothing can get in. And irrespective of the lunacy that they talk about, peace process, the killing just gets worse. Every single day, the killing just gets worse. And I'll tell you how bad it is. I'm going to add a little something to the Tahir story, because I was there with him, with his family. How bad is the world? So he didn't mention, and I won't mention names, but the family was evacuated from Cairo to a state in the United States, organized by one of the senators of that state. There's such duplicity that if that would have been I take nothing away from the Ukrainians, please. Let me make sure I say that up front. the war wounded and Ukrainians or whatever they can get. If that were a Ukrainian family, there would have been a ban at the airport. They said we shouldn't even be talking about this to the press and stuff because they were worried about blowback. Now, how bad is the world when a politician's afraid of blowback when they're doing something as good as bringing a child to have orthopedic surgery in the United States? It's not just depressing, it's ridiculous. So we'll answer whatever questions we can now, and when the event is over, anybody who still wants to talk, I'm available.